All right, in preparation for our test tomorrow, we have a review. After playing Review Jeopardy of integers, now we've got some review problems. Here are some ones that I want to go over. I want to go over a problem like number 1, and there are other problems like this to practice. I just want to make sure that we are thinking about this correctly. The coldest place in Utah is Middle Sink, near Logan. One day the temperature there was negative 17 degrees. You drive from Middle Sink to Salt Lake, where the temperature is 30 degrees. What is the change in temperature? When I'm asking for the change, I'm asking what's the difference? When I'm asking what's the difference, that's your clue that this is a subtraction problem. So how do I represent what's happening? I like to start my subtraction problems at the end. Where did this problem end? We ended in Salt Lake, where the temperature is 30 degrees. And I subtract the amount that we started with. What did I start with? A negative 17 degrees. This is important to acknowledge, first and foremost, because I have a positive number here where it's a positive number, and I have a negative number where it's a negative. So my signs match the context. I'm subtracting to show we're looking for the change or the difference. And when I do this subtraction, 30 minus a negative 17, subtracting a negative works the same as adding a positive, so that's 30 plus a positive 17, and I get a positive 47. And this positive 47 matches what happened. We started where it was really, really cold, and it got warmer. The temperature increased. So the change in temperature is 47 degrees. The temp increased, using the word increased, tells me that it's a positive 47. You're going to have a few more like that on the review. Make sure you understand how to answer those kinds of questions. What is the change? Meaning I'm saying, what's the difference? Or in other words, write a subtraction problem. The next one that I want to go over, we're actually going to skip pretty far ahead. Based on your quizzes, you guys need some practice with absolute value. Please jump ahead to 18 through 21. Number 18 is an absolute value, but I want you to understand what this means. We saw this yesterday. Negative 20 and then a fraction line and 4. What does that really mean? Divided. Yeah, this is a division problem. Negative 20 divided by 4. Don't be thrown off by this. This is not really a fraction. It's a division problem. Negative 20 divided by 4 is equal to a negative 5. So that was nice and easy. Let's review absolute value, since I know that that was our weak spot on our quiz. Absolute value is how far a number is from 0. But absolute value is also a grouping symbol, which means when I see expressions that have absolute value, I have to do or treat the absolute value as if they were parentheses, doing what's inside of them first. So number 19 is easy. How far away is negative 11 from 0? It's 11 away. Nice and easy. No issues there. But this one, please compare and contrast 20 with 21. On number 20, we have the absolute value of 4, and then we're adding the absolute value of negative 6, versus 21, where we have the absolute value of negative 8 minus 3, which means I need to do what's happening inside of that absolute value symbol before I can find the absolute value. Here, I have to find the absolute value, find this absolute value, and then I can add them together. We treat these just like any other order of operations problem. We follow the order of operations. Grouping symbols, yeah. So I'm going to do that grouping symbol. What is the absolute value of 4? How far away is 4 from 0? 4. What's the absolute value of negative 6? How far away is negative 6 from 0? 6 away. And what are we doing with those two absolute values? Adding them together. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Here is the mistake that I saw on the quiz. Students are like, oh, well, negative 8, but it's in an absolute value, so I'm just going to treat that like 8. And then I'm going to subtract 3. We can't do that because it's not absolute value yet. It's saying we've got this thing inside of grouping symbols that we need to do. Negative 8 minus 3. Negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. And we're asking what is the absolute value of negative 11. Those were the mistakes that we saw on the quiz. And of course, we also know from our previous problem, number 19, that negative 11 is 11 away from 0. Please understand the difference between 20 and 21. That is going to come up again on your test. Other things to notice, I'm just looking at this and I can see that it doesn't look too good on my copy. I hope that on at least B and D, can you guys see that multiplication symbol? Okay, just making sure there. It's not just negative 27, it is negative 2 times 7, negative 3 times a negative 6. And it says draw a model. It can be chips, an array, or a number line. I strongly advise the number line, because if I'm looking at something like B or D, how am I going to draw negative 2 groups of 7? Oops. And the key thing is we can't. It's harder to draw the opposite of 2 groups. Some of these are going to be a lot easier with a number line, but you can do chips or an array where it is appropriate. Man, I think those ones are just my biggest concerns. Let's maybe take a look at, oh, there is one more page, isn't there? Yeah. I want you to take a look at C, just some context on C. Let's see, that's 24C and 25. 24C uses this terminology that's fairly new. They used to say BC and AD, but now they've changed that to, instead of BC meaning before Christ, they now say BCE, before the Common Era, which means this is after the Common Era, which means before the Common Era, that's going to be a negative 753. And after the Common Era, that's going to be a positive 476. Rome was founded in 753 BCE, or in other words, negative 753. Rome fell in 476 ACE, or positive 476. How many years passed between Rome's founding and fall? This is like that first question. Make sure you know how to interpret it. How many years are between them? That means this is a subtraction problem. Okay? 476 minus a negative 753. Don't lose the signs. I know that you guys could just do 476 plus 753. I know that. But if I'm asking you to write an expression, I want to see that you recognize that we're finding the difference because we're looking at how far apart they are. And this is a positive and this is a negative. I'll let you answer that one on your own. 25 is the last one that I want to go over. The temperature in Athens was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. 5 minutes later, it was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Not just what was the change, but what was the average change in temperature per minute. We can see how much the temperature changed, right? It was at 30, now it's at 20. So how much did the temperature change? 10, not just 10 though. Negative 10, did it go up or down? I need to know that it went down by using an integer that tells me that it's going down. So don't just say 10. 10 would tell me that it went up and the temperature decreased. So negative 10. But that happened over the course of 5 minutes. So what is the average change in temperature per minute? 10 degrees in 5 minutes makes the average change in temperature, again, not just 2, but negative 2 degrees per minute. All right, that is it for this video. I would hope that you complete every single problem. Yes, it is your homework to do so, but I really want you to do it for the practice and preparation for the test. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.